Hello everybody, I'm Cafriel, and let's play Vantage Master Online, or Vantage Master V2. We're going to be playing in scenario mode on normal difficulty. Vantage Master Online is a turn-based tactics game in which the player controls a single master and summons spirits called Nadials to fight for them in combat. The player doesn't choose their master, but is instead assigned one by the game after taking a simple personality test. There are 8 questions divided into groups of 2, and a question from each group is selected randomly. The answer to each question will give you a card, sort of like a tarot card, and the combination of cards you get determines the master you play. There are some additional masters that can only be accessed by providing a specific name to the master generated by the game. I'll be doing that for this LP if I get the opportunity. I'm not actually answering these questions myself, instead I'm using the answers provided by the fine people at the forums at fantasystrike.com. You can follow along there for discussion and additional reference information. This is the last card, and we've gotten the Knight. I'm going to rename him and play as an adventurer for this game. So here we go. The adventurer's stats are reasonably well balanced, although his magic power is a bit low. That has some implications that I'll discuss later. Now it's time to receive the items needed to summon the first 4 Nadials. Why 4, you ask? Because Vantage Master uses an elemental counter system. The 4 elements are Earth, Water, Fire, and Heaven, which I will usually call Air. Earth beats Water, Water beats Fire, Fire beats Air, and Air beats Earth. And by beats I mostly mean is advantaged against. Each element deals more damage and receives less damage from the next element in the cycle. So we finally arrived at the scenario mode world map. There's some stuff to talk about here, but I'm going to save it for a later video and just jump right into the first fight instead. Here we go. There are a lot of things to explain here, but I'm going to start with the basics. The first thing I'll do is move my master to a nearby magic stone and summon an Air Nadial to grab more magic stones. Air Nadials tend to be good early summons because they're quick, fast-moving, and without exception they all fly. Flight allows a Nadial to ignore obstructions such as changes in elevation, terrain, or enemy units. Makes them excellent for claiming magic stones. Why are magic stones so important, you ask? The more magic stones a master controls, the more magic they regenerate every hour. The clock in the information window on the right side of the screen indicates the current time. And you can see how many minutes until a unit moves again by highlighting it and then looking at the number next to the hourglass in the information window. The number next to the bell below the hourglass indicates this unit's position in the turn order. My second summon was a Hephaestus, a Fire Nadial, to counter his Air Nadial. I moved my Hephaestus behind his unit to attack it because facing matters in Vantage Master. Attacks from the front will deal reduced damage, and attacks from behind will deal extra damage, while attacks from the rear sides will deal slightly less than a rear attack, and attacks from the front sides will deal slightly more than a frontal attack. In addition to providing vital magic energy, magic stones also provide a 30% damage reduction bonus to units positioned on them. That was Gwen Foss, the starting Heaven Nadial's magic attack. It can target any enemy within range. While I cast it from a front side angle, it still did respectable damage because Heaven Nadials like Gwen Foss are very effective against Earth Nadials. You'll also notice that using the Nadial's magic drains magic energy from the Master's magic supply. You can see both Masters' current magic supplies in the information window on the right. In addition to how much magic they'll regenerate, that's the yellow bar, and the upkeep costs of their current Nadials on the field, the red bar. Whoops, not quite enough MP to summon that one, so another Hephaestus it is. That's okay, I like Hephaestus, it's a solid unit. I'll talk a little bit more about the stats when I finish cleaning this guy up. So each unit in Vantage Master has 6 stats. Physical attack power and physical defense power affect how much damage it deals and receives in physical combat. Magic power and magic defense power are the same except for magic damage, with one exception. The Master's magic power affects how much magic energy it regenerates each hour and scales with the magic stones that Master's forces control. The last 2 stats are speed and move distance. Move distance is pretty self-explanatory. That's how many hexes the unit can move on its turn. Speed affects the delay between a unit's turns. The calculations for that are a little bit complicated, and sometimes I'll use a lookup table, but most of the time I'll just eyeball it. However, it's very important to keep in mind that a unit that moves and acts incurs a full delay, while a unit that only moves or only acts incurs only a half delay. That's especially important for masters, which can remain in one place and summon faster than a master that's moving and summoning. That's a Reku, the simplest water-type unit. Water types generally can't move very far on land, if they can even move on land at all, but that doesn't matter in this situation. My Hephaestus there blocks both of his units from moving past it. This is an important concept in Vantage Master. Units that don't fly cannot move into and out of a space adjacent to an enemy unit. Trapping his master here will keep him from retreating and hopefully let me finish this up a little bit faster. Moving my Hephaestus into that prairie square doesn't really accomplish anything, but it does let me illustrate something else. In comparison to the Magic Stone's 30% defensive advantage, a prairie provides a 20% damage reduction. It's not quite as good, but prairies are usually easier to come by than Magic Stones, and the defensive advantages they provide can be very important. However, it costs more than one move point to move into a prairie, so they can also form obstacles. I has wanted! That'll take us to the post-battle statistics screen. Most of the statistics aren't terribly useful, but they can be interesting to look over. The level up screen is the most important. It shows which stats of your master increased when you leveled up for completing a mission, and what the reward for completing that mission was. That's all for now, so please join me next time for Mission 2.